Answer about the shofar and the mask?
All right, Rabbi Isai, we are live. We are live on YouTube, everybody. Good morning. If everybody could please mute, we'd greatly appreciate it. So as you can see, I'm back at home. I am in Bidud because our great friend Gary, who runs YouTube and the Zoom, he tested positive for COVID, and I was in very close proximity to him, so I am in quarantine. This should last for about another week or so, and then we'll see what happens. We have to play it by ear. So that's how it is. We have another one of the guys from the shir, from the evening shir, is also he also tested positive, him, his wife, and his child. So it's another, and he was at the Shabbat brachas, but legally I didn't have to go into the bidud, but because of Gary, we are here, and that's okay. So today's shir is being sponsored Lilu Nishmas Mordechai ben Avram Tzvi Kamiansky. Ramosha Kamiansky is sponsoring. Ramosha Kamiansky is sponsoring tomorrow's shir, or today's shir, for his. That's today, yeah, Avi, today.
It's today, right now.
Mordechai ben Avram Tzvi. Avi's kid's name is Mordechai, and Avi is Avram Tzvi. He grew up in the same building as Reb Shimon Shkop. Unbelievable. And his father, Avram Tzvi, built the benches in Grodno. He escaped Europe before the war and became a Zionist. Of course, he had to stick in the Zionist thing. And that's what's so beautiful about our shir. We have the Zionists, we have the anti-Zionists, we have Talmid Chachamim, we have Amaratzim, we have Bali Chuvin, Gerim, and from birth. We have the Kail guys and the Magid Shurim. Everything in between. It's the whole, you know what, we always talk about Achdus and Achdus. Here we are, we're doing it right here in the shir. So he became a Zionist and came to Israel and got in the bunker during the 1948 war. And he's buried in Zgula Cemetery in Petach Tikva, the Friedman Cemetery, meaning my wife's family cemetery, because they basically own the cemetery, because they have 5-6 graves there. It's a massive cemetery, but it's called, in Chicago, it's called the Friedman Cemetery. My father's an only child, so the neshama should have an aliyah. Look at that, only child, and we have all these Kamianskys, part of the shir, Eli and Hillel and Avi. Today's shir is also sponsored by Shia Greenfeld of Green Star Electrical Contracting. Rabbi Isai, remember that, Green Star Electrical Contracting, that's your guy to go to. For all the worldwide MDY members, maybe he's the first person that ever sponsored for you guys, all the Zoom guys, and the hardworking staff. It goes in order. And last but not least, Reb Eli. So, Shkoich Reb Shia, let's see if I can get here without, Today is also, I believe, is it the yard side for Eitan's mom? Yeah, Eitan, where's Eitan? I saw him online a second ago. Either way, I'm going to read this beautiful email, if I can find it. Where is it? No way. I don't have it here. If I don't have it, I'm going to have to pull it up. It's a beauty. Oh, you know what? Here it is. Sorry, here it is. It's a very long email. I'm not going to read the entire thing. From Eitan Ogorek. So this email is months and months in the making, and now finally I'm getting around to it while I have a few minutes. First of all, I still can feel that hug that you gave me, and even then I was shocked as to how you knew that I needed so badly. I want to thank you and your family for all the hard work that you put into and that they let you put into giving the shir and keeping it going. These crazy times, which I'm sure is no small feat. The effect you have on so many people's, he put in 10 O's here, so many people's lives is amazing. The daf has mamish, listen to this, has mamish changed / saved my life. It helps me go against my nature, which is being consistently inconsistent. You shouldn't say that about yourself, but I have a similar personality. Consistently inconsistent, and the daf gives consistency. Until recently, I haven't missed a daf. If you don't include Erev Pesach and a few other times that I stepped through on Zoom, and in brachas even managed to say every single word. Mamish like a Nachman Seltzer. As you know, my mother passed away not even 30 days ago. I think today's the yard site. I may have mentioned this before, but one of the last times my father spoke to her, she said, go already and do the daf with Eitan. Those were her last words. Unbelievable. Anyways, right now, he got a job cooking in a camp in Maine. He's a big chef, so if you know of something good for him in Bet Shemesh, let me know. It's 6 hours from the center of Brooklyn. The kids are a hard time to get a minyan. Oh, and Akush Baruch Hu made it that he was able to get a 48-foot trailer. This is his dream. Together, maybe it's a combination of the power of learning, and especially such a great thing like the daf, and my mother never took no for an answer. All right, Bekitzer, he has a shayla here, Halacha. Anyways, Eitan, we can't wait to see you back here in Eretz Yisrael. The neshama should have an aliyah. And here we go, we have a brand new perek for all those procrastinators that are waiting for a new perek, a new Mishnah, and a round number on the daf Kuf Lamed. It doesn't get any better. Kal, easy stuff. Says the Mishnah. Rebbe Lezer Omer, we're discussing Hilchas Milah on Shabbos. Rebbe Lezer Omer, it's an interesting name for a perek. Rebbe Lezer de Milah. Rebbe Lezer Omer, Im lo hevi klimer of Shabbos. If you didn't bring the knife for the Milah, may vioi b'Shabbos megula. You can bring it on Shabbos in the open. You show everybody here, I'm carrying a knife. Now, why don't you bring the baby to the knife? Why do you bring the knife to the baby? And Tosfos asked the question because we have the concept of chay noises atzmoi. It's better to bring the baby to the knife. The baby's going to help you out, even a newborn. Chay noises atzmoi. Says Tosfos is interesting. Once you perform the milah, it no longer has the chay noises atzmoi. So now you have to bring the baby back to its mother, and that's a no-no. You can't do that. So, and the mother, we're assuming, can't go to the baby. She's too weak. So it's better to bring the knife. That's one teretz. Another teretz is it's easier just to bring the knife. We do what's easier to make the mitzvah quicker and easier. Ubesakana, and when the goyim don't allow a bris milah, michaseu al pi edim. You cover the knife. You make sure they don't catch you. It's very dangerous. And you bring witnesses to say, hey, I'm not just being over on this milah. When the Mishnah says, b'sakana mechaseu, I read a beautiful story once of a mother in Russia, just recently, a mother in Russia who couldn't give her baby a bris milah. Famous story, I think. And she waited a full year until she could get away from the Russians and this, and they finally did a bris milah. And they gave her the baby, and she fainted. She fainted. She wakes up, they give her the baby, she faints again. They said, what's going on? She said she accepted upon herself that she will not kiss her baby until the baby has a bris milah. Unbelievable. Klal Yisrael went through this. Sakana mechaseu al pe'edim. When the goyim don't allow bris milah, you cover the knife. But you have to bring edim that you're carrying the shem mitzvah. So we have a big machlokes in the Mishnah. What are you permitted to do for bris milah? According to Rebbe Eliezer, you could do a makshir to the mitzvah. You don't have to do the actual, you don't have to be Michal Shabbos for the actual mitzvah, but even to prepare for the mitzvah. In other words, I could cut a tree to make coals, to make metal, to make the knife, whatever the steps are. Klal Omer Rav Akiva, no, you can't. Since I could cut a tree down on Friday, and it is a Shabbos. But the bris milah itself, the cutting itself, I have to wait until 8 days. So that you could be Michal Shabbos for. Doichas a Shabbos. And that's how we paskin. Ask the Gemara, what is the reason that you show the knife? Is it to show everybody here, I am being Michal Shabbos to do a mitzvah? So that's to show how beautiful the mitzvah is for us. We allow you to be Michal Shabbos just to perform a mitzvah. So we're talking about in the case that you do it in the open. The Mishnah says you covered. Obviously that's a sakana, you can't do anything about it. So people shouldn't think that you're What if you have witnesses that say you're not being Mechal Shabbos, you're doing it for bris milah, you say, here's a milah knife, I'm putting it in my pocket, and they know why you're doing it. If there's an inyan to show people your love for the mitzvah, and to show that you're Mechal Shabbos for a mitzvah, megula in mechusalai, Eidim are not going to help you. You need to show everybody. If the whole point is that people shouldn't say they see something sticking out of your pocket, they shouldn't think it's a cell phone or something. Rather, it's a knife or a milah. Then you could tell Eidim what you're doing, and it's okay. Here we have Reb Levi that explains to us that it's for the love of a mitzvah. And we learned that you bring it in the open and not closed, the Reb Lezer. So what do you see from this bris different than our Mishnah? It's a double lashon over here, and it says specifically, Meviyoi Megula, you should not cover it. You bring it in the open, do not cover it. In other words, trying to prevent this idea of perhaps maybe you could cover it, but do it with Eidim. No. You don't cover it. Divrei Rebbe Eliezer. Omer Rav Ashi. You can interject, you can jump in, you can make it exciting. Everybody besides a certain person, and everybody besides when I turn the page on the top words, very dangerous. So it says in our Mishnah, if you medai from the words, b'shas sakana, it says ubisakana, in a time of sakana, this whole heter of using witnesses that you're carrying a knife is only when there's a danger. Meaning, on a regular Shabbos, do not bring Eidim, show it in the open, show everybody how much we love mitzvahs. The mitzvah of milah is so beloved on us that we are willing to be Mechal Shabbos and bring a knife. B'sakana in, shaloi b'sakana lo shmamino. Shmamino mishum chabuvi mitzvah. So you see, it's because of the love of the mitzvah. Tanya Yidoch. So we continue. You bring this knife exposed and not covered. Divrei Rebbe Eliezer. Reb Yehuda Omer Mishum Rebbe Eliezer Noyagim Hayu B'Shas HaSakana Shoyu Mevi Mechusa Al Pi Eidim. Okay. In the time of a sakana, they had Eidim. Iboilu. Eidim de Ka'amar Iyu V'Chad. What does Eidim mean? Is it two people total? The carrier of the knife plus one other individual? Because we're not talking about real eidos here. We're not testifying about a murder case. We just want that people should know that he's not being Mechal Shabbos. So maybe he could testify. Yes, he's a little biased. Maybe he can't testify right now, but he's not testifying anyways. You just need two Jews to say he's not being Mechal Shabbos. Perhaps in addition to himself, he needs two. Toshma, it says in our Mishnah, Ubisakana mechaseu apiedim. So now it seems like there's eidim to what he's doing. It's not him. Eidim. There's witnesses. It's not even so much the lashon eidim as much as there's testimony here. Somebody's testifying and he cannot testify on himself. Iyamr is b'shleimahu trei shapir. Eliyamr is hu v'chad my eidim. How could he be part of this eidos? Says the Gemara, Shuru'im lahayd b'makam acher. They're eidim because they are kosher to testify anywhere else. All we need here are two Jews to say that he's not being Mechal Shabbos. So we don't know really. So not only, here's another kind of Meiser Rav, sort of. Not only did Rebbe Eliezer say this halach in the Mishnah, but in his city, people took this as a practical halacha, and they would cut trees on Shabbos in order to make an izemel, to make a piece of metal to cut, to make a milah on Shabbos. Lasis bechamim, lasis barzel bis Shabbos on Shabbos. Another halacha. Again, they took this halacha literally. They would eat chicken and milk. As machlaikis in chulin, what you could eat is chicken like basar or not? Rabbi Kiva says it's not a deraisa, it's only the Rabban. Rabbi Yossi says it's not even the Rabban, go ahead and eat it. So Rabbi Yossi Aglili's city, they ate chicken and milk. Says the Gemara story, Levi ikla libe Yosef Rishba. Levi showed up to Yosef Rishba. Rishba is a trapper, a guy that hunts, a hunter. He used to hunt birds. Korivule reisha de tavasa bechalava. They gave him the head of a peacock. I was looking through these pictures. It's literally neflois habayra. You look at this thing, it's so gorgeous. It's like the picture doesn't do any, but the colors and the idea that it just opens up. It's there. You think about it. It's unreal. Peacock, little peacock. They took the head of a peacock, served it with milk. Says the Gemara, lo yochal. I'm going to eat a chicken with milk? I can't do that. He didn't eat anything. So Levi goes to Rebbe and he tells him over the story. You're not going to believe this. I was just at Yosef Rishba's house. You're not going to believe it. They served me a bird with milk. So Rebbe tells him, why don't you throw the guy into Cherem? The guy, Rabbi Yosef Rishba. Should put him in Cherem. What kind of business is this? Asri the Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira Hava. This is not a joke. This was the city of Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira. Va'amina dilma dar shluk Rabbi Yosef Galili. I have reason to believe that Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, paskin like Rabbi Yosef Galili, that's 100% mutter. So I can't put him in Cherem. Why would I put him in Cherem? Yeshal milismach. He has Rabbi Yosef Galili. It's not Rabbi Yosef Galili oimer nemar lo yisoichlu kol nevelom. V'nemar, look at this. If you just read the Gemara, you could say it says one pasuk l'seichel kol nevela, and it says l'savashok di. But if you look closely at this, you'll see it's one pasuk. It's the same pasuk. Devarim perek yudal pasuk chaf aleph. In the same pasuk it says don't eat a nevela, and it says don't cook a goat with its mother's milk, with the milk. So we learn from this as she'asur mishum nevela, the beginning of the pasuk nevela, whatever is a nevela, asur l'basha b'chalav. You're not allowed to cook with milk. So therefore, oif, it makes a lot of sense that any bird, even a peacock, she'asur mishum nevela, there's isur, if it drops dead, you don't shechta, you can't eat it. Yochi asur l'basha b'chalav. Perhaps it should be asur. Tamaloymar b'chalev imoy. Yotza oif, she'ein loy chalev ein. It says before in the pasuk, the milk of its mother, and a bird doesn't have milk. You know, as a magachir, one of the worst things is to make a mistake, especially if I say something that's against Rashi. I think I did it yesterday even. Happens all the time. It's very embarrassing, but it happens. We were learning chulin, and in shir I'm saying, you guys probably remember it. I remember like saying, I think it was like a chicken is pregnant with chicken got pregnant. I don't even remember. I said something like so off, so not normal. You remember that? No one remembers that. Like, yeah, why can't a chicken nurse? And chicken nurses. I don't know, something stupid. But anyways, no, chickens don't nurse. Chickens don't have milk. And, okay, that was a silly mistake. But to miss a Rashi, or to say literally wrong pshat, it's terrible. When Menachem Mata starts talking, it's yeah. So, says the Gemara, since a bird doesn't have milk, and the end of the pasuk says b'chalev imoy. It says in the Torah, I think 3 times. So Rabbi Yosef Glili learns it doesn't include birds, so you could serve peacocks with milk, not a problem, according to Rabbi Yosef Glili. Omer Rabbi Yitzchok, Irachas hoyso be'eretz Yisrael shoyu oisim ki Rabbi Eliezer. Says the Gemara, amazing thing. There was a city in Eretz Yisrael that they took upon the halacha of Rabbi Eliezer, which we don't paskin like him. But back then, they didn't know. That was the halacha. Machlokes Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Kiva. We go like Rabbi Eliezer. V'hayu meisim bizmanam, they were awarded, even though today that's not the halacha, but they were awarded that they died on time. In other words, the Marsha explains it's midah keneged midah somehow, that they didn't delay a bris, that they were doing the bris bizmana, so they died bizmana. Nobody died before their time. Elo shapamachas goes remachus horsho gzeira yisrael ala milah. There was probably Romans geyser gzeira that you cannot do bris milah. V'aloiso yirlei gazra. They spared that city. You'd say, oh, they're makel. No, you get awarded when you do la halacha, even though it's a kula. Tanya Reb Shimon Gamliel Oimer. So, if I were to ask people, what is the most famous Shabbat brachas drasha? I don't know, at least for me. Besides Ish, Shruya, Shechina Shruya B'nayim, and Motzi Isha Matzah Taiv, there's a famous drasha that I've heard, I don't know, dozens of times in my life. It's about the grandparents that came from Europe, and they weren't Mechal Shabbos, they had a job every single week. How many times have you heard that drasha? And then they always finish off with the famous Rav Moshe Feinstein. Rav Moshe Feinstein, they once asked him, how come this family, all the kids are Gdolim and Choshev Tamid Chachamim, and this family, all the kids went off the derech? And they're identical. They both went through the whole war, and they came to America, and they had to get jobs every single week. Says Rav Moshe Feinstein, the famous line, that family, the father always said, Oi, he gave a krecht. It's tough to be Jewish. That krecht caused that his kids go off the derech. Where the other family, every time he got a slip that he can't come back to work, he hung it up on the refrigerator, put it up on the sukkah. You see, the same kind of idea here in our Gemara. Tanya Reb Shimon Gamliel Oimer, Kol mitzvah shekiblu aleim besimcha kigoy milah. Any mitzvah that Klal Yisrael accepted with simcha, they were happy about the mitzvah. D'chsiv sas anoichi al imrosecha, we say it at every bris. I'm happy with your imra, with your saying. What's your saying? That's the first mitzvah that Hakadosh Baruch Hu gave Avram Avinu, the only one, bris milah. First mitzvah, kimoitze shal rav, like I find like a treasure, tremendous treasure. So if you do it b'simcha, adayin oisin b'simcha. If Klal Yisrael accepted it b'simcha, till this day we make a bris milah, everybody excited, it's a whole suda. V'chol mitzvah shekiblu aleim b'ktata, but something that was more of a fight, kegoyin arayis, they didn't want to accept the idea they can't marry ants and this and all different arayis, erva. D'chsev vayishma Moshe's hom boichel im shpachaisav al iskim shpachaisav, something familial halachas they weren't happy with. Adayin oisin oisa b'ktata, they're still fighting. The lekik suva, the leiramu bat tigra. When you make a shidduch, there's always a fight. Personally, I don't remember fighting, but I know of a lot of people fighting. I think it's a good idea not to fight, to give in. It's not kedai. You only see them chutanim, them by the chassid, you probably never see them again, unless certain don't fight. But the Gemara says the reason why there's so many fights and arguments about the dira and about the dishes and which photographer to use, and there's always some sort of argument, because Klal Yisrael didn't accept it b'simcha. If you look over here in Rashi, I think it's kedai to see this Rashi. Very beautiful Rashi brings down a famous Gemara. Sasa noicha alim rosecha. You see the Rashi like 1/3 from the bottom. Amiro yichido shekadmu l'shar amiros. This was a saying, because alim rosecha is a single saying, not imrosecha. One saying shekadmu l'shar amiros before everything else, that before the whole Torah. Vi milah shisrael isim v'sasim aleh. Klal Yisrael is happy with it. The kol shar mitzvahs enem mechichas kol shah. All other mitzvahs are not there at all times. Kegoin tefillin umezuzah v'tzitzis. De'enu kshuba sada va'arim v'beis hamerchetz. If a person is in the field, he doesn't have a mezuzah. And if he's in a bathhouse, he can't wear his tefillin and tzitzis. Avazu meid aleim la'ilam. Bris milah is with a human being, with a man forever. Kedamrino b'menachas b'David. Shira atzmi beis hamerchetz v'nitztar. He felt that he's in a bathhouse, and he's sad. Omar, oirli shani orim mikol mitzvahs. I can't believe I don't have anything with me. I don't have any mitzvahs. Kivin shenistakel b'milah, and on the side the geiris, that he realized niskar b'milah, because the Gemara in Menachos actually uses the word niskar. We learned the whole sugi about Rebbe. Why is it called Rabbeinu HaKadosh? Because he never saw his milah. So it's impossible that David HaMelech wasn't on a higher madrega than Rebbe, and he certainly didn't see his milah. So we got to take out the word nistakel. Kivin sheniskar b'milah nisyash v'daitoi. The Melech realized that a Jew is always with a mitzvah, at least the mitzvah of milah. Says the Gemara, Tanya Reb Shimon ben Elazar Omer, Kol mitzvah shemasru Yisrael atzmam alei lemisa b'shas gzar malchus. Any mitzvah that Klal Yisrael gave up their lives for during the Shmad, kigoyin avodas kechavim u'milah, like avodas kechavim, idol worship, and bris milah, adayini muchzekes biyadam. Yeah, you see, even non-religious people, adayim azeh, most of the time they do bris milah. It's a thing. You're an atheist. Even my atheist friend, who wanted to show that he's an atheist and didn't give his son a milah for a few weeks, but then he gave him a milah. B'chol mitzvah shlei masru Yisrael atzmam aleh lemisa b'shas gzeres hamalchus kegoyin tefillin. They gave up tefillin. Although we have all these stories in the war, in the bunkers, Klal Yisrael was putting on tefillin. But nevertheless, adayin hi merupa biyadam. So tefillin is a little weaker. See, there are a lot of guys, yeshiva guys, the kids that go off the derech. Unfortunately, the first thing that they drop is tefillin. Domer Rabbi Yanai. Now, I'm not saying I know for a fact. I'm just saying tefillin is one of these things. Yeah, you forget about it. Okay. Domer Rabbi Yanai. Tefillin tzrichim guf naki k'alisha bal knofayim. Yeah, similar to that golden dove story. So over here we had it once before in the Masechta. The famous Elisha Bal Knofayim. You need a clean body like Elisha Bal Knofayim. Mai. So Rashi says, if Elisha Bal Knofayim, that he had a clean body, he went to the bathroom when necessary, but he's Elisha Bal Knofayim. Other people weren't so makbid. Mai. Omer Abaye shelo yifiach b'hem. Shouldn't pass the wind. Rava Omar shelo yisham b'hem. Shouldn't sleep, because maybe that will bring to hafacha or carry. And why is his name Elisha Bal Knofayim? Shepamachas gozu malchus rishok zera Yisrael shekol aminiach tefillah roisho yikru es moichai. They'll puncture his brain right where the tefillin are. They'll take a screwdriver and puncture it right there. Elisha didn't care. He put on his tefillin, went outside to the marketplace. And a general or somebody chashav saw him. He ran away from him. And the guy ran after him. He caught up to him. He took off his tefillin and held them in his hand. What's going on here? What do you have in your hand? Interesting. Just like the story with Rabbi Chana, they both lied. They both said, "Oh, we have a dove." And then the lie turned into reality in both stories. He opened up his hand and has pigeon wings. Now, incredibly, I don't understand this 100%, but Tosfos proves from this idea that Elisha Bal Knofayim didn't sacrifice himself for tefillin. I don't understand it 100%. I can't say I understand him, because he did go outside with his tefillin. Tosfos holds that he should have stood there with his tefillin. He should have said, "Here's my tefillin, I'm wearing tefillin, and I'm proud of my tefillin." The fact that he took off his tefillin, that means he didn't sacrifice himself for tefillin. And therefore, you see the idea that Klal Yisrael didn't sacrifice themselves for tefillin. And therefore, says the Gemara, the last Tosfos, the one liner.
Why was he allowed to go out with tefillin?
Yeah, so we had those shilos back then as well. I don't know, what did we say back then when we learned it? Was it you that asked me then? I don't remember. I remember we were going through it. How's he allowed to put himself in a sakana? And how did Rebbe Kiva put himself in a sakana? And he learned Torah, Makil Kilos Barabim. First of all, B'shas HaShmad, right.
But I don't know for all mitzvahs.
No, B'shas HaShmad, even Arkasa de Misani, you're not allowed to change the color of your shoelaces. Right. So, to go out with tefillin, everybody wore tefillin. That was the thing, you walked outside, so taking off your tefillin should be worse than Arkasa de Misani. I don't know. Look in the back of the, I'm sure the Mesivta brings down stuff. Why did he pick a pigeon? Because Klal Yisrael is similar to a pigeon. The wings of a pigeon are covered with silver. Another part of her wing is covered with gold. Shiny gold. Why? Af Yisrael mitzvos miginois aleihem. Just like the way Rashi says, I guess pigeons are different than all birds. Most birds defend themselves with their beak or something else. A pigeon defends herself with her wings. You'll see them fighting with each other. They pick up their wings and they go like this. So, of Klal Yisrael, the mitzvahs is what protects Klal Yisrael. Omar Rabbi Bar Ad Omer Yitzchak. I guess the yeshiva guys love that saying. Mitzvahs magina. We don't need the army. We have mitzvahs. We're the one that protect Eretz Yisrael. Omer Rabbi Bar Avado Omer Yitzchak. Pamacha shachu v'layiviu izmil merev Shabbos ve'yiviu b'Shabbos. Once they forgot a knife. The knife, they didn't bring it Erev Shabbos. It's better, obviously, to bring it. That's what the moil does, right? Nowadays, he brings his stuff. He brings his bag before Shabbos. And they brought it on Shabbos, derech gagois v'derech hatzeros. So, here you can see, just to give you an idea, somewhat of an idea. You have a gag, a rooftop, and then you go from the rooftop into the chotzer, into the karfaf. So, Bekitzer, they went through these things. That's Issur D'Rabbanan to go through there. It's not like going through. It's a shortcut. You're going through the rooftops. You're going through the backyards. You're not going through the Rishus HaRabbim. But there's no Eruv, obviously. So, it's Issur D'Rabbanan. The turning of Daf Kuf Lamed is sponsored by Official, from Official Catering. Shaloi B'rotzen Rebbe Eliezer. Rebbe Eliezer was not happy with this. Kuf Lamed Omid Beis. Maskav lo Rabbi Yosef. Shaloi B'rotzen Rebbe Eliezer. Adarabba. Rebbe Eliezer with the Shari. What's the problem? Rebbe Eliezer is the one that says you're permitted to go even through Rosh Hashanah, certainly through a rooftop. Now, if you could go through a Rosh Hashanah, which is, so let's see, hold on a second. Let's go weiter a second. Says the Gemara, Adar Rebbe Eliezer with the Shari, V'chitei Moshaloi B'rotzen Rebbe Eliezer. This Shari afilu b'Rosh Hashanah. Rebbe Eliezer allows it in Rosh Hashanah itself. So that's why it's not like Rebbe Eliezer. Why did they trouble themselves and go over the rooftops? Now, Tosfos points out, wait a minute. Why should they go through Rosh Hashanah if they have another way? They could go through a backyard. Isn't it better to do less of an Isser than to go through Rosh Hashanah, which is Isser D'Oraisa? Says Tosfos, well, it's quicker. Well, Tosfos doesn't say it. The Tosfos Rosh says, since Rosh Hashanah is easier and better, then just go through that. It's not considered Efshel Asi Shneim. If you have two equals, then you go with the easier one, the Rabbanon over the D'Oraisa. But they're not two equals. By the way, I forgot to mention, Harry Shalom is not on, but Harry Shalom also sponsored last night, and he wanted it to be, first of all, for Yosef Biliak's birthday, and also for the Refuah Shlema of Gary and Yirmi's son. But I have good news to tell everybody. They are not sick. They're doing very well. They're at home in isolation, but it was a very mild case for all of them, Baruch Hashem. Especially we're happy for Yirmi's son, who's 6, and they were worried about him, but Baruch Hashem, they got over it. They had a slight headache and a little ache, and bye-bye. So they are actually excited that they got it, so now they should have some antibodies and they don't have to worry about the whole thing. So whoever's concerned, no need to say Tehillim for them. Somebody was saying we should say Tehillim. Baruch Hashem, that's not the case. Visharu, says the Gemara, Ela b'ratzon rabbanon da'asru derech Rosh Hashanah. Visharu derech gagois derech hatzeros v'karfiviyos. So we have to say, sorry, v'chitei meshaloi b'ratzon Rebbe Eliezer the shari afilu b'Rosh Hashanah. If you'll say that it's not, Rebbe Eliezer is not happy with this. Why are you going through a chotzer when I'm telling you go through Rosh Hashanah? What you're doing, basically, you're showing that you don't care about me. I say that halacha is go through Rosh Hashanah, go through Rosh Hashanah. Why are you playing games here? And Vishor dergag is der chatzeros. He went through these backyards and the karfifiyos. So karfaf, says Rashi, is less than 2 saw, but it's not for residential use. This guy right over here. It's a giant backyard or some sort of Not a backyard. You know what it's like? I'm just thinking, like if you go to a moshav, these guys have, they call it a meshek. Like in the back of the yard, they have this giant, they can do whatever they want there. It's not a backyard. It's not like you put a swing set there. It's more of a karfav. It's two sun, whatever. Fine. Now, so they did it according to Chachamim, and Rebbe Lezer was upset about it. Says the Gemara, Mishari, but do Chachamim say you could go through these backyards and karfifiyos? But you can't bring this knife. Derech Rosh Hashanah, kachem mivim oisei loy derech gagos, derech karfifiyos, v'loy derech chatzeros. You're not allowed to be Mechal Shabbos according to Chachamim, bringing it through the backyards. Elam Rav Ashi, Shaloi B'rotzim Rebbe Eliezer Machlekutai. In other words, Shaloi B'rotzim means it wasn't in agreement to anyone. Rebbe Eliezer says, go through Rosh Hashanah, so he's upset, why do you go through a chatzar? Chachamim are upset, don't go through anything, why are you going through a chatzar? So either way you look at it, chatzar is nishtahi nishtaher. According to Chacham, it's completely asur. According to Rebbe Eliezer, there's a much, just go through Rosh Hashanah. Why are you bothering with Rosh Hashanah? So Shaloi B'rotzim Rebbe Eliezer umachlekuta for different reasons, but it's not in agreement with anybody. Ela B'rotzim Reb Shimon. This is a new man domar. Reb Shimon. It's not Reb Shimon Oimer. He's always the makel here in Masechet Shabbos. Echad gagos, vechad kafrifiyos, vechad chatzeros, kulon rishus echad hein lekelim sheshafsu b'soichan. Not even for a mitzvah, not even for a bris milah. If you have any kli, you have a bowl sitting in a chatzer, you can move it here to there. It's not a problem if the kli was there when Shabbos came in. But don't take it out from your house into the chatzar. But if it's in the chatzar, you go from the chatzar to the karfaf, to the gag, etc. But to move something from your house to the chatzar, that we already discussed, that you need a erev chatzeros to make your chatzar and your house one. So Reb Zera asked Rabbi Asi, so here we go. We have a mavui. Basically, if you look over here, you see these are the chatzeros on both sides. Each person has a courtyard coming out of his house, a bunch of different houses. And then down the center, you have an alley, a mavui. This is a typical mavui shein mefulosh. It's like a U, it's like a ches. It's closed on three sides. And then you're supposed to put, like in the red, a lechi. You make some sort of heker, and you show that this is where the Rosh Hashanah begins. The mavui itself, midoraisa, you could carry there. But Chachamim wanted you to make a heker, a lechi, or a kaira, a horizontal one, to show, look, this is where it begins, this is where it ends, so people shouldn't make a mistake and start carrying in a carmelis or whatever. So, Reb Zera asked Reb Asi, what happens if the people that own the homes and the courtyards, they didn't make a sheet of mavais? They didn't put bread together in one place and say we are all one owner. We have one ownership on this mavoi, and now we could just carry. Because you need two things, Batsim. You need a lechi and a sheet of mavais, an eruv. They didn't do an eruv. You nevertheless carry something that was already in there. Is it like a backyard or a courtyard? Just like a courtyard, even though you didn't make an eruv, the eruv that you're making is to allow you to go from your house into the chatzar. But if the thing is in the chatzar, you could carry it within the chatzar. That's not a problem on Shabbos. Perhaps, maybe the issur is they made you make an eruv so you could go from your house to the mavui. But anything that's in the mavui, somebody forgot a bike in the mavui, a non-muktzah bike, you can move it around. It's not a problem, maybe. Perhaps it's not, you can't compare a mavui to a chatzar. The chatzar is le'dal mechitzos. See, if you look even in this picture, the courtyards over here have 4 mechitzos. They're surrounded completely. The mavui only has ha'islei, ha'ileslei dal mechitzos. This one doesn't have 4, it only has 3. Inami chatzis le'diurit. People are used to carrying in there ha'ileslei diurim. So if you're not used to carrying there, you might get confused and you might carry outside. Says the Gemara, Shasik, Reb Asi was quiet. He didn't know what to answer Reb Zera. Says the Gemara, you have this a bunch of times in Shas. Zimnin, later on, different time, Ashkechei the Yosef Kalmar. Happens to be that Reb Zera passes by Rabasi, and he hears Rabasi talking about this exact question that he asked. V'Kalmar, Om Reb Shim ben Lakish. Rish Lakish says, Mishum Reb Yehuda Nasi. Maybe it says over here, maybe you have to say Nisia, which we said is Reb Yehuda Nasi's grandson. Pamachas Shachol V'lo Yaviu Izmil Merev Shabbos. They once forgot, and they didn't bring mamish this question. They didn't bring a knife, Be'aviu b'Shabbos, and they brought it on Shabbos. V'hoya hadover kosher lechachamim. Chachamim were very disturbed about the fact that they brought the knife on Shabbos. Remember, on Amud Aleph we said that the whole city that did like Rebbe Eliezer, they were awarded and nobody died early, and there's no gzeira. Over here, Chachamim were distraught. How could you say such a thing? How could you say that there was a story that somebody brought a knife on Shabbos? We don't paskin like that. We paskin like the Rav, and not like Rebbe Eliezer. Why not? Says the Gemara, Chada the Rebbe Eliezer Shamutihu. Unbelievable. So this goes back to the very famous story in Baba Mitzvah.
All there was a machlokas Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Akiva.
Yeah.
Not Chachamim.
Right.
It's a difference. It's not Rabbi.
You mean later on it became Chachamim? You're saying later on? No. I said then. I said on Amud Aleph. I said straight out. The halacha wasn't like anyone else in those days. If it was, then they wouldn't get awarded. It was unknown. Like there's no psak yet. Later on, it became the halacha. So Rebbe Eliezer in Baba Metzia, the famous story, it's kedai to look it up. Rashi points it out. It's in Baba Metzia, Daf Nun Tes Amud Beis. The famous story of Tanur Achnoi, where Rebbe Eliezer paskin that this type of oven is tahar, and Chacham said it's not. And Rebbe Eliezer, he was able to disprove Chachamim, and he had the charuv tree. He had it uproot, and he had the water go backwards, and he had the wall, and then he had a baskol come from Shemayim. Said Allah is like Rebbe Eliezer, and they said Rabbi Shmuel got up and says Torah loy b'Shemayim. We don't care about a baskol. It's unbelievable story, unbelievable. We don't care about all these nisim and koilos from Shemayim. Torah is down here. We have the right. We pass not like him. Either you take it back, or they put him in cherem. They put him in cherem. All the way through here, he's still in cherem. He died in cherem. Or Rashi brings another pshat. Shamuti is because he was a Talmud of Beishamai, so it's a lashon of Shammai. Shamuti. V'oid, another reason why we don't pass like Rebbe Eliezer. Yochav Rabim, halacha Rabim. So he is an individual against the Rabbim, and we pass like the Rabbim. Fine. So that's why Chachamim were distraught that they passing like Rebbe Eliezer for all these reasons. So now, in order to calm all the Talmidim down, how are they passing like Rebbe Eliezer? Sheilas is Rebbe Yehuda HaGoizer. I asked Rebbe Yehuda HaGoizer. HaGoizer, interesting. He's a snipper. He likes to do bris milahs. He's a mile. He's a geyser. We're talking about our case. That it was a mavoi that they didn't do an eruv. And they brought it from one end to another end. Rashi says from one house to the other house. I'm not exactly sure how that fits in. From one side to the other side. So you're telling me that if that's the case, they have a mavoi that there's no eruv, you let it go from one end to the other. Yes. I asked you Ravasi. I asked you straight out. What is the halacha? You don't know. You're quiet. All of a sudden, you're telling me that you hold that it's no problem, no eruv, you let it go from side to side. What happened? Dilma, I'm going to help you out here. Agav shitvach roidlach gemarach. You were chazering this Rish Lakish over and over, and as you were saying it, it just came to you. You know, that's how it happens. The memory, you refresh your memory by talking about this halacha. Amar le'in. That's exactly what happened. Agav shitva riatali gemari. As I was chazering this sugya, it just occurred to me. So yes, that's how I paskin. If there's no eruv in a mavoi, you're allowed to be metaltal bekuloi. Says the Gemara, Itmar Omer B'Zero Omar Rav Mavoi Shaloi Nishtatvu B'I If there's a mavoi that there's no eruv, ein mitaltalin boy elo bedalad amos. So if you have a kli that was there from Shabbos, before Shabbos, you could only move it 4 amos. Omar Abaya, v'ha milsa amar Reb Zeir v'lei perisha. Reb Zeir said it and he didn't explain. Ad also Rabbi Baravua perisha. Then came along Rabbi Baravua and he explained it. Omar Rav Nachman Omar Rabbi Baravua Omar Rav. Mavoi shaloi nishtatvu boy. If there was no eruv, no sheet of mavais, eruv chatzeros and batim. If they did do an eruv between the houses and the courtyards, but there's no general eruv even for the mavoi, ein metalton boy elo dalad amos. Lo eruv chatzeros and batim mutter letaltel bekuloi. So you know what? Tomorrow we'll start again. We'll go over this because it goes into Amud Aleph, shorter type of a daf. So we'll go over this sugi again tomorrow. Be'ezer Hashem. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. Besuras toivas to everybody. It's great to see you, Eitan. Keep up the good work over there. Do the daf. Oh, I think he's working hard over there. It's 2:00 in the morning. Okay, Noam, I think you're up. You're back to your job.
We're going to say Tehillim also for David Feinstein, David Ben Shima. So.
David Feinstein. Okay. Oh, I just mentioned today Rav Moshe Feinstein, Gewaldig, a story by Rav Moshe, Rav David Feinstein. Great. Yeah, sorry.
Shir Malais Mimama Kim Karsi Adonai.
Shir Malais Mimama Kim Karsi Adonai.
Adonai Shema B'Kuleitino is Necha Kashivosh L'Kotach Adonai.
Adonai Shema B'Kuleitino is Necha Kashivosh L'Kotach Adonai.
Imam L'Sishtoya Adonai Miyamai. Kim Chas L'Chol L'Ma'am Kivarei.
Chas L'Chol L'Ma'am
Kivarei. Kivisar Nakivisar Nafshi V'Libra Hopalti.
Zadonai Kivisar Nafshi V'Libra
Nashilot Nami Shamim Laboiker, Shamim Laboiker.
Nashila Adonai, Shamim Laboiker, Shamim Laboiker.
Echel Yisrael Adonai Kivanai Chesed V'Arbei Moifedus.
Echel Yisrael Adonai Kivanai
Lord, bless Yisrael V'Kol Yisrael.
Amen. Shkoyach, Rabbi Isai.
Thank you, Eli, for such an amazing shir. The best shir I've ever heard you give. Wow.
Yeshua.